Hey guys, it's Quickie Baby, and I'm bringing you something a little different. I'm doing a YouTube post-commentary review on an IS-3 game that we had on our Tank Company night, where I play with QSF and a couple of members of QSFX that you can see there. QSF are really going from strength to strength at the moment. They've landed on the map, albeit in Africa, but you know, I'm proud of them. They're doing a really good job. And you can see us play tank companies, specifically tier 8 tank companies, on a Tuesday night on my Twitch TV channel. So we're playing on Fisherman's Bay, and my general tactic is, I will show you, try and get the IS-3s up into this area here, where you can make a really strong defensive location. Use our AMX 1390s along with a T-32 to try and maraud the ridgeline, and the PZ-1C gets vision at the start along here. So we got vision along here, we know that the enemies are not going in here, so really we're going to have an absolute fight. And that's one of the reasons why I'm showing you this replay, because I wanted to do some post-game analysis to see exactly what happened. And equally, this is one of the most intense fights I've had in a tier 8 tank company in a while. So you can see our 5100 is situated at the back, just preparing to get sniper shots off on good targets. Our IS-3s have been instructed to fire on the move while they get into position behind these rocks. Now we can start to aim our shots at the enemy. I'm calling out targets on both on TeamSpeak and also with the T key occasionally. We got the T-32 down, now we're going to focus this IS-3 down. So at the moment it looks like we're having a really good result, but oh god, now the battle's changing. I'm just going to go out my sniper mode for a second so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So right now, we were completely winning that fight until what happened? These autoloaders came into here. What was happening is our autoloaders were shooting their autoloaders from range, while their autoloaders came in and assassinated most of our IS-3s. We're trying to cover our back here. I'm trying to gauge what is the next best target. I'm also watching the map very rapidly. I'm going to try and... I'm keeping my armor angled in here because I was worried about the tank destroyers shooting me. Now I can angle my armor this way. Now our autoloaders are free to do what they want. Oh gosh. We can see that we have Coldius flanking around. We have our autoloaders behind their heavy tanks now. Oh my god, it's just so messy. I lose my ammo rack, but I repair my ammo rack. Bogdang makes a flanking maneuver. I realize this guy's probably going to be killed, so I go and hide around this rock here. And our autoloaders come in and finish off the game. Wow, okay. That was one of the most intense engagements I have seen. Now one thing I want to do is just go back quickly and take a look at what our autoloaders were specifically doing. Because as we could see, we were winning the engagement so massively until their autoloader scouts came in and just started unloading on us so heavily. So after we see just the end of the game here quickly, we're going to go back and take another look at what their autoloaders were doing. Okay, so I'm going to run this in half speed now. So they have got a rear line of some IS-3s and tank destroyers. I'm instructing my team to get to these rocks to take defensive locations where we negate the people here, where we negate their tank destroyers, and we focus these three here. We have seen their scouts in a little while. Our scouts are in the mid-ridge along with our T-32. I'm still telling them focus fire on the move until you get into a position where you can hide versus their tank destroyers. The enemy team rightfully says, okay, we know what they're doing. Send in our reinforcements. They send in their IS-3 reinforcements. Fortunately for us, our artillery makes some good hits on their tank destroyers. Really good work by Dommy Dowie there. I'm just going to pause the game for a little bit and take a look to see what's going on. So right now, we've got one IS-3 behind us. He's out of position. We've got Coldius still chilling there. I'm not sure what kind of damage Coldius has been able to do yet. I'm pretty sure Coldius is in his 5100, has been firing, and yet we can see there's the shot from Coldius. That was quite cool. He's firing to finish off the ISU-152. Let's see if he finishes him. No, the shell doesn't finish him. Okay, but Coldius has basically been unloading on this TD and also people who are advancing down here. So right now, we've got ourselves into strong positions where we're safe from the enemy 1948, safe from the ISU 152, but arguably not safe from the artillery. So this is the position that we wanted to get into. Now, Coldius has been firing a wonderful shot at that T-32. You could see there what kind of a snipe he was able to pull off on the side of that T-32 turret. Unfortunately, the 1948 makes a shot down onto Danger Mike there, finishing him off. But really, this is where our alpha damage starts to really destroy the enemy tanks. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now it's starting to look a little hairy. Fair enough, we've killed 2 of the enemy heavy tanks, the IS-3 and the T-32, and their ISU-152 is dead, which is always nice. You don't want his alpha damage later on in the game. But what happens here is the enemy scouts, with very dangerous autoloaders, have now got perfect flanking opportunities on our tanks. Looks like our scouts are shooting at this 1948 from the side. I'm going to just watch the engagement. Yep, there's definitely AMX 1390s firing at the 1948. Our heavies are just making a defensive location as much as they could, considering their scouts were brutalizing us from the side. So all I've seen is 2 or 3 effective shots there on the 48 from our scout. Now it looks like our T-32 puts in a great shot on the side of their scout. We're down to 3 IS-3s. We take out another one of their scouts, and Coldius is marauding the ridgeline really well here in his 5100. Their 48 doesn't have effective fire, but unfortunately we just lost another one of our last IS-3s who were located over here. Fortunately, Addy takes a hit while I get a rear shot there on the enemy IS-3. I'm just trying to last for as long as I can here, really, to give my autoloaders enough time to go in and start to clean up. So now the engagement happened. Now it seems a lot more clear to me what happened. So basically, their autoloaders rushed over and unloaded fully on our IS-3s who were clustered up. We unfortunately allowed some of the IS-3s to flank behind us, and we weren't able to effectively engage this IS-3 and that IS-3, specifically because he was behind a rock. Our autoloader advantage over here decided to flank around, which means that now the engagement has changed. But thankfully, our T-32, played by Gemster, was smart enough to realise that he needs to go and get over into the fight. The 1390s now come in, and really 1390s when they're allowed into a skirmish like this. And we've got Coldius now reloaded in his autoloader. That's all she wrote for the enemy team. I really like this position for a heavy IS-3 team. It was a very even match. Both teams took 1 artillery, 2 1390s, whereas the enemy took 2 tier 8 tank destroyers and a T-71. We took a very low tier scout, no T-71, and I think we got just extra IS-3s basically. So let's take a look at some post-game stats. So we're able to get 2,175 experience in that last game. That's a non-double, which was a pretty meaty result. I was able to pull off 3,000 damage. I was really lucky to be the last man alive. But more importantly, let's look down the damage list for the rest of the team. So Coldius was able to get effective shots off from his flank. He picked up 3 kills in his 5100. Dommy Dowie looks like he just put a couple of massive hits off on the ISU-152 at the beginning, and then maybe hit one of the IS-3s once. Our autoloaders were able to do some good damage between them. Look at that. Bogdang and Ice Cubes, 1,200 and 1,000 damage. A couple of our IS-3s got really unlucky, and unfortunately Gemster was unable to really perform on his flank. Maybe he got unlucky with his RNG. I think he went maybe a bit too deep on the eastern flank and he should have been further west. Considering that Scipio managed to pick up the full scout on the east, I think that would have been the best plan. So what would I have personally done differently? I would have liked to see the T-32 locate more into the central mid-ridge and then to police against the scouts. Our PZ-1C was getting vision in the east to know if the enemies were advancing into the town. Coldie has had a great game. I would have perhaps liked it if he'd stayed back where he was so he was able to shoot the other IS-3s in the rear to stop us from getting flanked, but he was still making very effective shots. I think our AMXs had a really good game, taking out the 1948 I was able to see. What I would have liked is if they were able to maybe get a little bit more of effective engagement, preventing their auto-loaders from coming and unloading on us from the side. But I still think it was a rather good game. So guys, if you want to see more Tier 8 tank companies led by me, you can come on to twitch.tv/QuickieBaby on Tuesday evenings and be able to see us play. Do you guys want me to do this kind of post-game, more in detailed analysis on our more exciting Tier 8 tank company games and upload them onto YouTube? Would you guys like that, or do you find these Tier 8 tank companies really boring? Big shout out to QSF if you're interested in joining their ranks. There are joining requirements, but you can find them on the forums at quickybaby.com. Maybe if you're a player wanting to be part of this kind of growth that they're experiencing and you play on the European servers, then definitely hit them out. They've got a really good leadership structure, of which I'm not a part of. I'm just like a guest. They're completely independent of me, and I make sure of that. And for all you tactical wizards, why don't you have a discussion down in the comments below and tell me what you think about the tactics that I used here? Did I make mistakes? What should I have done differently? What should I have done better? What do you guys think? Have you led Tier 8 tank companies? Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.